to Tatler Indonesia Instagram Live, and today is a very special day because I'll be talking with the CEO of Samsara Ubud, Bapak Bayu Sarwono, to discuss about how hospitality industry should remain optimistic, hopeful, and creative during the pandemic. Dan hari ini kita juga akan membagikan 2 giveaway vouchers bagi kalian nih viewers kita hari ini, yaitu one night stay di one bedroom pool villa Samsara Ubud termasuk breakfast untuk 2 orang pemenang. Nah, cara ikutannya gampang banget. Kalian harus stay tune di IG live kita dari awal sampai akhir, dan nanti di akhir sesi interview saya akan membacakan 1 pertanyaan yang bisa kalian jawab di kolom komen setelah IG live ini di-post di IGTV Instagram Tatler Indonesia. Nah, untuk memudahkan kalian juga, saya akan sertakan pertanyaannya lagi pada kolom deskripsi IGTV-nya. Jadi jangan lupa untuk stay tune and hopefully you will be the winner. And jangan lupa juga untuk tag teman kalian, dan jangan lupa untuk tag @Samsara Ubud serta @Tatler Indonesia. Okay, now without further ado, let's invite Pak Bayu ya to join us. Hai
Halo,
Pak Bayu.
apa kabar Diela? How are you?
Baik. Suara
That's
aku
good.
jelas nggak?
Sangat jelas. Suaraku jelas
Oke.
nggak?
Ya, jelas. Oke, Pak Bayu. Oh my God, thank you so much ya for joining us today, and very
Okay, my
happy to
pleasure.
finally talk to you. So, Pak, today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, ya kan?
Sure.
This timely issue such as how hospitality industry should remain optimistic, hopeful,
Okay.
and creative during the pandemic. So, but
Okay.
before we touch on that topic, I would like to ask you, what are you seeing in terms of travel pattern right now?
Well, look, I'll be honest with you. Like, I really wish I was seeing a pattern at the moment, but as you probably know, like, apa namanya, kayak there's still a lot of uncertainties.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think a lot of people are still cautious to travel, and so like I think the travel industry was improving a little bit in December, but I mean, with what's going on, I think January has been pretty quiet, but it's in terms of travel pattern at the moment, I think we are seeing a lot of domestic travels, obviously, as you know, and people don't want to travel too far. So, for example, like I think a lot of like in Bali, like we're seeing a lot of people coming from Surabaya and first, and then we started seeing a lot of people from Jakarta as well. But which is probably, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think it's funny, like with this pandemic, we were forced to explore our backyard to some extent, and and back in those days, in the pre-corona days, BC days, or before corona days, as we used to, as we fondly call them, it's we would probably just travel overseas, like we don't really explore what we have, and we're not well, me personally, like I didn't really know what I had in my backyard, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, in terms of travel pattern, I think we're seeing a lot of domestic travel, but at the same time, I think people focus a lot more on nature now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's
Betul.
it's so interesting, and it's I think, I mean, that's the way it should be, to be honest with you. So yeah, so that's, I mean, I don't know whether that answers your question, but that's the kind of like travel pattern that I'm seeing at the moment. So we don't travel far, and if we travel, like we want to see something about nature, or we want to go somewhere quiet, and we focus a lot more about our health now, which is probably the positive thing that came out of this pandemic.
Betul. You know, Pak, one thing that I learned about this pandemic is to reconnect back to the nature, right? And to explore more. Probably before, we didn't really have time to explore, our country. and now it's
Mm.
time to do that. So I think it's a positive side that we get from the pandemic itself. So
Yeah.
Pak, may I ask you, like, what are the biggest challenges you are facing
Oh,
right now?
well, look, I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of challenges at the moment, and let's be frank. Like in terms of operational, I think it's the financial pressure is pretty big. For a lot of businesses in the hotel industry, in the hospitality industry, even in restaurants, and especially in Bali. Karena kan juga we have like it's been almost a year. Can you believe it?
Yes.
So can you imagine these businesses, our businesses, like we're trying to survive on to some extent, like very limited, with limited demand, and so it's been so that's I think from a financial perspective, that's one of the biggest challenges that we have. But from a human capital perspective, I find that it's becoming harder and harder to well, what can I do to keep the morale up? Like to make sure that everyone is still motivated, that everyone's still, and because it's been going on for too long to some extent. Mungkin in the beginning we were all still excited, right? And so, we were not excited, but we were like, oh yeah, we can do it, and da da da. But now, 9 months into the pandemic, or even almost 12 months into the pandemic, we were like, when is this gonna end?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you're feeling the same. Like, I was in
I,
Jakarta last week, and although it's, I must say though, like things in Jakarta are a lot better than things are in Bali. You know what I mean? At least you've got some life going on, but it's becoming a lot harder at the moment to stay optimistic. So I find it quite refreshing that that's one of the questions that you wanted us to discuss today. What else can we do to remain hopeful? What else can we do to stay optimistic to some extent?
yeah. Wow. Okay, Pak. This is getting deeper and deeper nih.
You gotta stop me when you're like, okay, Pak Bayu, please, let's not go there, and then just do let me know.
But it is such an insightful interview loh Pak. Aku seneng banget. I can learn new things from you juga gitu.
Oh, I hope
Nah,
so.
kan during this pandemic ya, we
Mm.
are sort of like forced to adapt, ya kan?
Yeah, exactly.
Beradaptasi dengan segala perubahan nih Pak. Nah,
Mm.
from your side, how's your current work situation right now nih di Samsara Ubud?
Well, it's been a quiet period. I'm not gonna lie, but I think what differentiates the hospitality industry and many other industries is obviously, we a lot of the things that we do face-to-face interactions. So we still have, to some extent, we still have social interactions, but I mean, they are limited. And so the challenges is, and so we have to, how do you strike the right balance between you want to reconnect with your guests, you want to be close to your guests, but obviously we still have to wear the mask, like, and then like it's it's a challenge in a way that okay, we want to reconnect with the guests, but at the same time, you know, um, to strike the right balance because we cannot um, underestimate the health impact, obviously. So I mean, that's what's happening at the moment, just to strike that right balance, and then at the same time, with I think especially in the luxury hotel industry, we want to be able to give the best. Obviously, we want to give the best to our guests, but we have to be pragmatic.
Betul.
Few things that we have to compromise, unfortunately, and just little things like, for example, like we would, under normal circumstances, we would have extensive menus, but now, well, maybe we have to
Yeah.
cut it down a little bit. Now is the time to focus on quality over quantity, I think, and
Wow.
the good thing about the good thing about what I was gonna say, sorry, I got distracted. um,
It's
Yeah, the good
okay,
thing
Pak.
about sorry, the good thing about service is
Mm,
you know, serve like with authenticity at the moment, and I think people
mhm.
appreciate that a little bit more. And this is where I believe that us in the hospitality industry, what can we do to maintain the level of services? Yes,
Yeah,
we may not be able to offer like really um, what I was gonna say. We wouldn't be able to offer like like extensive menu, but what we can do is still deliver like the same quality service. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Pak, I miss this very challenging time. Obviously, we can always learn something, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
what are some of the positive effects of working in these new ways?
The positive impacts. I think you probably have more time to think about strategy. You have more time to think about
Mhm.
what else can we do in the long
Yeah,
term. Like how can we improve in the long term? Because before then it was all about we need to focus on the operational, the day-to-day activities, and now if you have time to really sit back and we think about what else can we do. I mean that's and the focus on health, the focus on hygiene is probably a good thing as well. Like
yes,
it makes us it creates kind of to some extent it makes even developing countries and developed countries hopefully will have the same standard now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so that's probably the good thing about it. And the good thing that came from the pandemic is the focus on nature. I'm not gonna lie. We realized that you realize the healing power of nature. That like what we think more, we more on life. Even
yeah,
I ask myself like, what else can I do? What else can I do better? Not just as a leader, but as a friend.
yeah.
Do to support others. It's been a very challenging period, and that goes. Sorry, ini kayak jumping from one question to another. But when I saw your question that how do you remain hopeful and how do you remain optimistic?
Yes.
Because I think it's very important to be of service. Like
Pak
what
Bayu,
can I do? Huh?
Pak, sorry, I have to cut you karena suara Bapak sometimes kayak hilang, sometimes ada gitu.
Is this a lot better now? Maybe it's
Tadi
yeah.
suaranya nggak ada.
Okay. What about now? Is it a lot better?
Yes, it's a lot better.
I should stop touching my earphones then.
Okay,
And
Pak, you can continue.
what can I do to stay hopeful and stay optimistic? And
Mhm.
I think the most interesting is like, for you to feel hopeful and for you to feel optimistic, we need purpose.
Yes.
And how do you obtain that purpose? Surprisingly. And for example, like I think one of the question that I saw earlier itu di mana kayak me as a leader, how do you pay my staff?
Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I've been using my own pocket money,
Money.
and but again, that's because I see it as my responsibility to take care of my staff.
Mhm.
It's they take care of the business in a good time. Now it's my turn to take care of my staff, and that's one way we can actually support others to some extent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like least I could do is to support my staff by giving them by providing them with a job. And yes, maybe like they had a pay cut, for example, but and thankfully they still understand that well, it's just the way things are, and it's time for us to actually be very grateful that with what we have to. We have to be grateful with what we have. And so to support others ya, kayak gimana caranya nih kita bisa support others nih, gitu kayak and we always see support as financial support.
Betul.
Wrong, it's important.
I
It
agree.
helps. Financial support pays the bills, ya nggak? It pays the wages. Tapi what else can we do? You know, like maybe helping our friends that have businesses to support their businesses, promote their businesses. Or if you know someone that's looking for a job, hey, I think I might know someone. Connecting them with the right person.
Yeah.
And also don't underestimate the power of sharing knowledge. Okay, well, this is how I deal with these current circumstances at the moment. And it's like, oh, just sharing knowledge, like, what can I do? Like, I remember like one of my family members, like, I'm struggling with sleep. Oh, well, this is what I do. I just drink chamomile tea. I stop using my phone. Do not underestimate the power of sharing knowledge and sharing experience and sharing wisdom with others to some extent.
Yeah.
But this is another thing. Don't underestimate the power of giving your time. Jadi, when you know that someone is struggling, checking in on them. How are you going? Gimana kamu? Ask them, send them a message. Are you okay?
Yeah.
That yang setiap orang punya. Apa? Waktu. And that's the most precious asset that we have. Gimana kabarnya? How are you doing? Are you coping well? So, when you help others, when you support others, it gives you a purpose. You feel good about yourself.
Agree.
And it becomes a virtuous. I don't know if that really answers your question, but
It does.
I mean that's how I remain hopeful. Like, just knowing that, you know what, I can still help others in these challenging circumstances. It helps. And maybe it's time for us to redefine success. What is success for us?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, up until the pandemic, success for me would be, having many businesses, having money flowing into my bank account. I mean, and then the pandemic forced me to rethink about that, about that attitude. What is success for me now? For me, success now is if I can stay healthy, if I can take care of myself. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had my moments of weaknesses.
Yeah.
Kayak, maybe there were days last year, there were a few weeks when I didn't take care of myself. But again, human.
Yeah.
And we need to embrace our humanity. Kita nggak harus kok selama-lamanya kita feeling optimistic, feeling positive about things. We can just. And sometimes when you feel down, that's okay. You're human at the end of the day. Don't be too hard on yourself. So it's so it's once we redefine success, kayak if I can still maintain a good friendship with my friends, or if I can still friends, if I can play with my dogs, or if I can ride, it's funny, like, once you redefine success in that way, better.
I see. Wah, Pak, aku mau kasih tahu dulu nih, because my house is actually in front of musola. Jadi sebentar lagi mau azan. Jadi aku ngomongnya harus kenceng.
Kenceng. Ya, nggak apa-apa. Aku udah terbiasa kok. Nggak apa-apa, aku juga terbiasa. Yeah.
Okay, so I also want to ask you nih Pak, besides taking care of the business, obviously you also have to take care of the team as well, because they help you to build the success, right?
Of
So,
course, yeah.
what kind of fundamental principles do you instill to your employees?
Um, Again, this is the thing. Like, so the right culture from the beginning is very important,
Yes.
and to
Agree.
have a clear communication is also important. So, my job as a leader is okay. Let's set the right culture first. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if they see the leaders working really hard, oh yeah, Pak Bayu masih kok, he's still in the office. Like I try to be in the office in the morning, and then If they still see, oh yeah, he's working hard, so why don't we work hard as well? And so it starts with culture. Everything starts with the right culture, and we as the leader set the culture.
Yes.
So communicate. So the principles about communication, I'm not gonna lie, this is an area that I need to improve myself. But I remember like when it was early in the pandemic, and I have to deliver some bad news. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when I told them, I'm sorry guys, unfortunately we all have to take a pay cut. And I tried myself, all right, you know what? I have to be there. I have to communicate it to them myself. But I mean, I have that luxury because we are small business. Maybe for some people, they don't have to, they don't have the luxury to do that, kind of because they're a big business. But I think when you take them through, when you communicate with your
Yeah.
staff, like unfortunately, things are gonna get tough before things gonna get better. So we have to prepare ourselves, and so it starts with a clear communication, I guess. And then again, I think the best principle is yeah, other than culture and communication, is very important at the moment. So what do I mean by being agile? So yeah, well, we have to be very quick in making changes. We have to be very quick in making decisions. And look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to improve my. I'm trying to. There's an area that I'm trying to improve as well. But agility is very important. And again, the efficient use of capital, human capital, anak-anak harus aku budayakan. Jadi kayak anak yang kadang-kadang di FO, kadang-kadang mereka ngebantu di restoran. So,
Yeah.
because everyone, I mean, people know that I'm trying to do a lot of things myself. Like I'm doing finance, I'm doing marketing, I'm doing, it's, but if they see the leaders doing, you know what, he's doing a lot of things as well. Why don't I do that? Again, leaders set the right self, the culture. Leaders, we need to lead by examples.
Wow.
And again, the principles that I've always adopted since the beginning is it's quality over quantity. And so sometimes we just have to prioritize. Kayak there's so many things that we want to do,
Yeah.
but we need to prioritize. Like what else? What else will have the biggest impact to my business? What else will have the biggest impact in terms of the customer experiences? Because at the end of the day, I always told my team, yeah, it's not me who pay the bills. It's
Yes.
the client, it's the guest that pay the bills.
Yes.
Remember that. Jadi makanya kadang-kadang mereka suka gitu kayak, iya Pak Bayu, kamarnya Bapak nanti saya bersihin nanti aja dulu ya, tamu-tamunya dulu. Gitu. Oh, and then I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm glad. Well done. I like that. So it's
Wow.
yeah, so it's I mean that's yeah, if you lead by examples, and the most important thing is they need to see that you're passionate about it. You're passionate about the business. I think I really hope anak-anakku juga ngelihat bahwa I love this baby. I grow this baby with them. I'm not the perfect leader. I know that, but hopefully they see that I'm passionate about it. For me, this is not just a trophy asset. For me, this is where I earn my living.
Wow. But Tadi kan Bapak sempat menyinggung nih sedikit about the customers experience, right? So I want to ask you, how does Samsara elevate this customer experience with many limitations during the
Mm.
pandemic, Pak?
Again, I think we need to from this pandemic as well kan. Itu juga again, but to answer your question short, well, we have to prioritize and we have to communicate with our guests. So, like when guests come and arrive, and we have to just again prioritize in a way that, okay, well, let's focus on the most important thing. A good service. Continue to deliver good service, continue to and prioritize on maintenance. Karena pada saat ini, unfortunately, capitals are very limited. And I'm not just talking about financial, but also human capital. We have to operate with with a lot lower staff at the moment. But how can we deliver? Again, we have to prioritize again. Prioritaskan. Apa sih yang penting? Is this gonna add value to our guest experience? What's the most important thing for our guests? And sometimes it goes back to basic. A great place, a great ambience, great quality of food, friendly service. It's basic. To go back to that basic is not as easy as we think. You know what I mean? We always think about, we have to do this, da 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 da. Okay, maybe okay, let's just go back to basic now. Let's go back to what hospitality is about, what being a luxury hotel is about. Because even the word luxury in itself is being redefined at the moment.
Yes. That's my next question to Pak. You may continue to talk about it.
I love this. I love like how this just flows. Enak ngobrol sama kamu itu. And so luxury at the moment. Gak setuju ya bahwa we finally realized that matter to us the most, money cannot buy. So I think that's what luxury is essentially. It's togetherness with your friends, togetherness with your family, the time spent, the precious moments, the precious experiences that you spend with your friends and family while you are on holidays. That becomes the most important thing. We had our liberation somewhat taken away from us at the moment. So yeah, that's you get when you can travel. So I'm sorry, like I'm trying to think again what else, kayak what does luxury mean to us? And then does that really answer your question, or that what I can because what I can think straight away is just the things that money can't buy. Because what is luxury? Luxury is the things that money cannot buy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And back then I think we used to have a very narrow definition of luxury. Oh, it's got to be, it's got to be marble, it's got to be da da da. When don't get me wrong, kita juga ada marble sih, But let's go to the next level. What else that money can't buy? It's the time spent with your loved one. It's the connection. It's that being health. Health is truly wealth as well, and that's why like several months ago, I had a chat with my team, and we talked about what else can we do, what kind of promotions that we want to do. One of the things that I told them is, don't have promotion for just the sake of promotion.
Betul.
And what makes us different to other brands? Like, it doesn't seem sincere. And that's when we start thinking, okay, well, maybe let's focus on healing. That's why we came up with that concept, healing at your leisure. Because ini
Yes.
apa ini berikutnya ya? Enggak.
Yeah.
Oke.
I was going to ask you, Pak. I'm going to ask you
Oke.
like, you have this program, right? Healing at your leisure, nih. And then living up to the motto of reset, reflect, and reconnect. I think it's very powerful. Ya kan? So
Yeah.
probably you might want to explain this program to our viewers. And for some of you who haven't been to Samsara Ubud, I think you will feel that you are not in a hotel, but you are in a nature.
Yeah,
I
you
think
you're
it's like one of the most apa ya Pak exciting things ketika kita tuh stay di Samsara Ubud. As
gitu.
if like we're united with the nature.
Yeah. So it's why we came up with healing at your leisure is because I'm not gonna lie, like the past year has been very difficult for us, kan?
Yeah.
And so it's been a very stressful period. We can't see our friends, and then we have to be distant. We have to do social distancing, and which is it's the right thing to do considering
Yes.
what's going on. But it surely has impacted our mental health. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I was impacted. Like I wasn't happy. I was anxious. I was depressed last year, I think. And because of that feeling, I was like, okay, well, what else can we do? Because and that's when I came up with the concept that okay, let's heal. It's time to heal. You know, and the thing is, kita jangan melihat healing itu sebagai it's a one step and then it's done. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Kayak no, healing is ongoing. You need to continue to do it. You know what I mean? And one thing we also recognize is that people heal in different ways. And like we always think about healing. When you think about healing and Ubud, and then you probably think about all doing yoga. And I mean, of course, it's part of it. It's part of the surface. But people heal in different ways. You know what I mean? And I personally like writing. So I
Yes.
heal through writing. I heal through being creative. And again, some people they heal by exercising. Main sepedaan, terus udah gitu atau mereka lari, kayak and we need to cater to this. And then the thing is, the good thing about us, and we're very grateful that our location itself itu benar-benar di tengah-tengah. Ya, kayak kita ngeliat hutan, terus kita dekat dengan sawah dan udah deh, take a step back dulu. Kita relax dulu. And banyak kok aktivitas yang bisa kalian lakukan di sini. Dia mau jalan-jalan di tengah sawah, atau kita mau naik sepedaan, atau kita mau yoga juga bisa, atau or just stay in your home. I'm sorry, if you just want to stay in your villa and then you just want to focus on writing or through creative writing, you can do that as well. Gitu. So
Betul.
yeah, but I mean, what we're trying to do is, okay, take care of your mental health. Jangan cuma physical health doang, but you also have to take care of your mental health. Gitu.
Wow. Pak, I also want to ask you nih, kan what does the future hold for Samsara as a brand, and then maybe you can talk about your new Samsara Patisserie nih Pak, and
Okay.
Samsara Samudra.
Okay, so I'm gonna use 5 seconds to do a little promotion, ya, nggak apa-apa ya. so,
Go ahead.
so we came up with this, and so we've got like those who have been to Samsara Ubud. You probably are familiar with our chocolate balls. So, and this is so interesting because again, this is one of the things that I had so much time last year, and I was like, okay, what else can I do? what can I do with the extra time that I had? And and then suddenly I thought about this. So I started drawing, and I was like, maybe let's do this. Let's be creative with the time. So I spoke to my F&B team. I spoke to Chef Iwan. I was like, Chef, do you have any ideas? What else can we do? And then he also came up with this. It's klepon. It's a klepon
Wah,
inspired chocolates. Yeah.
tuh ada yang
So there
bilang
you
Pak
go.
enak
Yeah, thank you,
banget
Lo Sela.
ceritanya.
and and it's yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that we do because at the same time, what else can we do to stay positive? What else can we do to stay optimistic? And one way for us to stay optimistic and positive is through creativity. Dengan kita kreatif. Nah, kreatif itu datangnya dari mana? Pastikan pertanyaannya.
Betul.
So, aku boleh jujur, kreatif itu juga datangnya dari it really comes from within. I know it sounds really cliche, but once you take a good care of yourself, and when you start listening to your body, when you start listening to the ideas that you have, and you start writing things down, and you start thinking about, okay, well, maybe I should do this and that, and then you interact, you collaborate. The things that we do here, the reason like why we get to where we are, it's not because of me, it's because of teamwork, jujur. So I
Yes.
don't want to take full credit. And so once I have ideas, and I spoke to Chef Iwan, I spoke to Pak Poli, I spoke to Pak Feby and Gianni, and I'm like, how do we make this into a reality? It's important that you collaborate, because otherwise, an idea will become just an idea. I mean, that's what we do. So at the moment kita masih baru jualan ini masih di Samsara Ubud dulu, because we're still working on a few things, but hopefully you guys will be able to get it in Jakarta as well. So this is a new business model juga, di mana kita harus mikir, okay, well, what else can we do? Gitu, itu juga anak-anak kan juga masih kerja, anak-anak F&B, and then SDC, and I'm just trying, again, you need to understand your asset. What is your asset? And human capital is our asset to some extent. So, and then that's the reason, like, okay, mari kita let's work together to create something different. So, yeah.
Wah, Pak, I cannot wait nih untuk nyobain Samsara Patisserie.
Yes. Kamu mau yang mana? Kamu mau klepon? Or do you want chocolate balls? Ada chocolate balls. Or we also have strawberry lava.
Oh, wow. Terus banyak tuh Pak yang komen
Sorry, I know
katanya,
it's a... kenapa?
katanya banyak banget yang ngomong katanya, oh Samsara Patisserie is the best tuh katanya.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I mean, like, we only launched this. You know what funny thing is, like, kita baru launching ini akhir Desember. So this whole concept is only 3 weeks old, but and it's funny, like, Bayu back then would be oh no, we have to, when we want to launch something, we have to launch things very properly and but now I realize that, oh no, kayak, you know what, let's just launch it. We just don't know what's gonna happen, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Wow. I think Pak, one of the things that I learned from you is that if you have things in mind, but if you don't put action to it, it will just be like evaporated, right? So I think that you take the risk in this challenging period. I think it sets an example for others to actually just do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, sometimes we think too much, right? And I'm guilty for thinking too much, over analyzing it, and sometimes we want action. Sometimes you just have to go. Mistakes.
Yeah.
and you learn from it. As long as the mistake is not fatal ya, nggak parah-parah banget gitu ya. Tapi juga kayak, have the confidence and that you can make it happen, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. I'm not gonna lie, I remember the first time, salah satu pertanyaan yang tadi itu adalah, kita bisa nggak dikirim ke Jakarta? Do you know the first time I
Yes.
sent this to Jakarta, I really, because this is completely different, this is a completely different ball game for me, ya kan?
Mhm.
And you know what happened? Because we didn't think about storage, we didn't think about logistic, all the chocolates melted. I think my cousin is probably watching this at the moment, and I asked Nares kan kayak, gimana ini Bay? Oh my God, they melted. I was like, yeah, but it's fine. Like, that's how you make mistakes
Yeah.
and you learn from it. And then now, like, I'm thinking about, well, what else? Kayak apa namanya? What else can we do biar barang ini bisa tahan lama juga? Kayak it's again, pas itu tuh, you just have to embrace it. And you will eventually make mistakes, but that's fine. That's just part of the learning process. You have to enjoy the learning process. You know what I mean? And again, one step at a time.
Betul.
Jangan kita langsung pikiran, oh ya gue pengen banget nih Samsara Patisserieku langsung ada kayak cafe atau gimana. I mean, that's the direction we're going, and it remains important for us to have a vision. This is my vision, this is where I want to be. Tapi, this is the reality pada saat ini. One step at a time, naik. And then sampai ke level di mana, okay, you achieve your vision. And then once you get to your vision, what else can you do to improve? So that's, and be kind to yourself in this journey. Be kind to yourself in this learning process. That coba dulu deh, perlahan-lahan, gitu. And itu sih.
Wow, Pak, nih last question. Tapi sebelum we're moving on, I just want to let our viewers know, if you have any question, please write it down on the comment down below. Karena abis ini kita ada Q&A session nih, Pak.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Deg-degan saya nih Q&A.
So this is the last question for me, Pak.
Are you sure? You can have as many questions as you want.
Do you have personal recommendations nih, Pak, on what can we do with the extra time that we have nih?
That's a tricky question ya, karena kayak personal recommendations on what you can do with the extra time that you have. Karena setiap orang, people have different, they enjoy different things. Yeah, but I think you should just focus on self-development. Use this opportunity to be the best version that you can be. Gitu, and ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? Is this really what I really want to do in the long term? For you to start asking that question and getting to know yourself. Because when we're so busy with our everyday life, when we're so busy with commitments, we think about what we want to do, or we don't really think about, to some extent, about who we are. As cliche as it sounds. Opportunity to get to know yourself. What can I do to make me happy? What can I do to make me, that make me excited to wake up in the morning? What are the things that make our soul happy? And that is very important for us to understand. And I'm just starting to, and I ask myself that question, even I still ask myself that question today, like, apalagi sih yang bisa aku lakukan gini untuk membuat diriku itu juga bahagia? Again, it's part of that redefining success, kan?
Betul.
I realized that I enjoyed so much, like just writing poems and learning about myself.
Wow.
To use this time to focus on yourself. Ask yourself the opportunity to make yourself a better person. When you make mistakes, it's fine when you make mistakes, and but it's about what you do now. Don't worry about the past. You reflect on what you did, you learn from the lessons, but it's what you do now that matters. And make sure that you use the precious time that you have to, maybe to learn something new.
Yeah.
Those books that have been sitting on your bedside table. So I've got two recommendations here. Some books that if
Yay.
you
I
really
like
want to,
recommendation.
go ahead. And this is my favorite book, yeah, The Alchemist by Pablo Coelho. I remember when I was trying to finish Samsara Ubud, I nearly gave up. Jujur, I nearly gave up tahun 2017 because it was just, we went over budget, and then abis itu juga kayak kita nggak selesai-selesai. And then I read this book. And then this book is about pursuing your dreams.
Yes.
You really put your heart and mind into it, and the universe will conspire to make that happen, dream a reality. So that's a really good book. And then the other one is How to Be a Stoic. It's about principles. It's about life principles.
Mhm.
Especially at the moment, like, like what are the things that we can do to be resilient? Iya nggak sih? Gitu kayak,
Oh,
because I think this pandemic is all about resilience. The strongest win to some extent. And how do you stay resilient? And it's just by adopting the principles.
mhm.
And I quite enjoy philosophy as well, so that's why I quite enjoy reading that book. So I highly recommend that book. And so yeah, so read a book, or what else can you do? Make sure that you also take care of your health. And I'm not just talking about physical health. Physical health is important, obviously, but
Yeah.
also take care of your mental health. And don't forget to support others if you can.
Wow.
Telepon temen deh, tanya how are they going. Telepon saudara kita, how are you
Yeah.
going? Be of service. It's not hard. I used to be selfish. I used to be like, oh, why don't people support me? And then I asked myself, have I supported others as well? It's time to really reflect, I guess.
Wow. That's powerful to reflect,
Oh.
ya, Pak.
Yeah, to reflect. Karena penting sih. It's important for us to reflect because to some extent it's
Mhm.
we want to. I believe everybody wants to become a better person. Yeah, nggak gitu. And
Betul.
through reflection, we can actually. So, and we can be better.
Wow. Pak, thank you so much nih for
Yeah.
this insightful conversation today. I really enjoy it,
Thank you.
but unfortunately, we have to say goodbye. But
Okay.
oh, okay. I
Question to apa
also
itu?
want to wait. Our viewer says, mm, Pak Bayu.
Yeah.
Oh nih, ada pertanyaan dari Robiniko. Pak Bayu, kan banyak sekali program yang ditawarkan oleh berbagai hotel di Bali selama pandemi. Kalau dari Samsara sendiri saat ini, program apa saja yang banyak dinikmati?
Kalau program tuh as in like promotions atau aktivitas ya? Itu yang mungkin pertanyaan yang
I think aktivitas sih, Pak. Kayaknya.
aktivitas ya. Kayak kalau menurut aku sih, let's start with something simple. And one thing that I just did this morning is actually village walk. And that's when you can actually walk around, like kayak di sekitar Samsara Ubud sendiri, karena kita ada kayak sawah, kita bisa melihat, we can actually, walking is a form of meditation, I do believe.
Yeah.
So that's one of the activity that I would, and the thing is, when you stay at Samsara, the village walk is actually free. So, it's part of our offering. So, and so that's one of the things that I encourage people to participate. Karena, you want to be close to nature, and you want to feel active to some extent, but in a stressful way. And so I would encourage that. But I think that's a very good question juga dari Robbie. Thank you, Robbie Nico.
Yeah. Thank you, Robbie, for the question. I also remember kayak prior to this IG live, I talked to you, ya Pak. You said that we want you said Samsara wants its guests to feel like they're healing without realizing that they are healing.
Yeah. So again,
right.
Yeah. Terus?
It is very interesting tuh Pak.
This is the thing, like, again, I just want to emphasize here that healing is an ongoing process. So do not just, I really don't want you to think that, just by coming to Samsara for 2 nights and no, it's an ongoing process, and healing requires a commitment.
Yes.
But, when I spoke to my team about healing at your leisure, when you come up with a program for the guests, it's like, this is what you're going to do at 6 o'clock. You have to wake up, you have to do like a morning yoga, and then at 8 o'clock, you do this, What's going to happen when people actually ask you, you need to do this, 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 this? You're like, no, I don't want to do it. It's a psychology thing.
Yeah.
So, the art is, makanya kalian harus coba ya, Healing at Your Leisure program kita juga. So, sorry ya, harus promosi dikit ya.
Nggak apa-apa Pak,
And but the thing is, this is the thing that we've done. What can we do? Karena mereka sebenarnya ya, by you being here already, by you being in Ubud, you're already making one step in the right direction to heal yourself. Because you're amongst nature. Di sini hidup nggak begitu, life is not as fast paced as living in a city. Yeah, that. Yes. You're already doing your body, you're already doing your mind a favor by coming to Ubud. Now, second thing, what are we gonna do? Get some rest. Sleep. Sleep is so underrated. Karena we live in a culture where we worship people who don't, he only needs 5 hours of sleep. And I was like that, I'm not gonna lie. Tim kita bisa nggak ya ngebuat gimana caranya biar orang tuh sampai balik ke kamar setelah mereka dinner, pas di turn down, everything is set, biar mereka juga, I just wanna have a good night's sleep. And it's multi-faceted. Yeah. It's not just about the bed, it's not just about the linen, it's not just about the light, it's everything. So that's the secret. Ya, kita lakukan juga yang gimana caranya biar, the thing is, once you rest, once you have a good night's sleep, that's already like one step in the right direction for you.
Betul.
So that, and then you wake up, you feeling refreshed, and then we start kasih, ya Pak, mau coba nggak jamu jahenya Samsara atau jamu kunyitnya Samsara? That's interesting tuh, biar nggak burn out. Bener loh, because burning out is a really why resting is important. Terus habis itu pagi-pagi bangun, yaudah ada aktivitas tadi aku bilang, so you can you can do the village walk, or you can actually explore the surrounding area. And ini menarik juga nih, Ubud udaranya bagus, benar. Inhale the fresh air. Sometimes healing complicated as we think, but at the same time, it's not as easy as we think. And I don't know if that makes sense ya. Kayak again, it requires commitment for you to do that. And so with the healing at your leisure kita ini, kita berusaha gimana caranya biar orang, yaudah, Bapak mau ikut aktivitas ini silahkan. And then pas mereka jalan-jalan, ternyata mereka, it's almost like asking them to do meditation, but and then they don't actually do meditation. They just focus on walking. They just focus on, you know what I mean, like on the present moment.
Wow.
And then they go for a swim at night time. And kita kan poolnya heated ya. So, and that already, without you realizing it, it's already relaxing your body. It's relaxing your muscle. You know, like when you exercise too much and then I just want to take a bath, a hot bath, and then you feel so much relaxed. And it's little things that we do, because the thing is, we're trying to with the guest subconscious level, tapi lebih kayak gimana itu udah bagian dari experience-nya saja.
Yeah.
So people don't feel like you need to do this. No, it's not like that. It's like, okay, you're more than welcome to do this. You know, at the end of the day, you have options.
Yeah.
Kita kasih nih ya, kayak misalnya nanti ini aku udah siap-siap nih minum chamomile tea. Karena chamomile tea itu juga bagus untuk biar. It's really good for you. Exactly. It helps you. It reduces anxiety. It makes you sleep better. So it's the little things. Makan pisang. Misalnya kayak health itu juga sebenarnya kayak it's, you know, to stay healthy. Tapi juga I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna lie. Tapi it requires commitment. It's not as it's not as hard as we think it is, but it's also not, it's yang penting udah ada apa namanya, kayak you have someone to guide you through that. So that's what I was trying to that's what we're trying to do, and obviously there's always area for improvement, but yeah, that's the whole logic behind healing at your leisure.
Wow, thank you so much Pak Bayu for sharing. And then this time nih, karena udah mau 1 jam juga, I also want to let our viewers know nih, aku akan bacakan 1 pertanyaannya untuk memenangkan giveaway vouchers nih dari Samsara Ubud. Ya, pertanyaannya adalah, what can we do to support hospitality and tourism industry? Nah, itu pertanyaannya. Jadi kan tadi kita udah ngobrol-ngobrol nih, aku sama Pak Bayu udah ngobrol-ngobrol banyak banget. Probably you can take a lesson from that. Dan untuk menjawab pertanyaannya nih ya, caranya nanti IG Live ini akan kita post di Instagramnya Tatler Indonesia sebagai IGTV. Nah, nanti di IGTV-nya itu akan ada pertanyaannya, kalian tinggal komen aja tuh jawaban kalian. Tapi jangan lupa untuk tag teman kalian, tag @Samsara Ubud sama tag @Tatler Indonesia gitu. Pokoknya jangan lupa ya untuk di tag teman-temannya, diajak untuk ikutan kuisnya juga. Dan terima kasih banget Pak Bayu.
Terima kasih
really
juga.
enjoy today's conversation. Semoga di lain waktu kita bisa ketemu lagi, bisa ngobrol-ngobrol lagi, pikiran lagi. So, thank you so much buat viewers kita hari ini. Stay happy, stay healthy. Jangan lupa kunjungin Samsara Ubud juga to enjoy all of the things that it offers ya Pak ya. So thank you so much. Until I see you next time.
See ya, thank you banget. Bye.
Thank you Bapak. Bye-bye.